Hi, my name's Michael Corthell, and I'm part of the maple syrup making party that we're having here. It's being sponsored by Open Spirit and also by the One Earth Collaborative. We're here at Edwards Church here in Framingham, and we're hoping to gather some maple syrup. If you can see, we've already got some maple syrups already tapped. The line's already tapped. We're gathering the maple syrup, and when we have our program, we're going to create a fire, boil the maple syrup down, and you're going to get some. And we're looking actually at making snow cones with real maple syrup. Not only is it real without any preservatives or extra sugar or glucose or other sweetenings, but it's also local. And tell you what, you can make this maple syrup yourself. You just need to come over here and learn how to do it, and we're happy to show you.
So what are we doing here now, Michael?
Well, right now, as you can see, come on over here and see this tap right here? This is actually a little valve that's going into the tree that we've put in there. There's a tube running down, and if you look inside here, this is actually the maple syrup when it first starts out. It's going to take 10 gallons of this liquid right here to boil down for 1 gallon of maple syrup. But it's something that you can do at your own home if you happen to have maple trees or other trees. I know people who do it with birch trees. Now, one of the things you need to do is have a fire, and we're hoping to get a big fire going so that we can then pour this into a large pot. We boil it in a large pot, and we just keep on boiling and boiling and boiling until it gets down to, like I said, 1/10 of the liquid. At that point, you've got maple syrup. Nothing else to do with it. You don't have to add anything to it. You just have to can it. And if you were to add some of this in the snow, this actually makes the best maple snow ice cream that I know. This is something, believe it or not, that the Indians knew about. Indians who had occupied this area thousands of years ago were using maple syrup as a sweetener for their food. And this is something that I think we all think of maple syrup is up in Canada or Vermont, but this is something local that we can actually use and enjoy
In our own backyard.
in our own backyard. So we hope you are able to come and visit us. The next event is happening on this Thursday, from 3 to 7. And you might even get a little maple ice cream if you're nice to me and tell me a story about what you like about maple syrup.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Please.
When you're boiling it, do you really boil it fervently or just let it sit?
Boil it.
Oh, really?
Boil the heck out of it, because basically what you're doing is
You're getting rid of the moisture.
Getting rid of the water.
Okay.
And so it concentrates down.
Can you tell me a little bit about how this mixture goes up and down the tree at a certain time of the season?
Actually, during this time of year, the trees are starting to wake up, and they're starting to say, oh, spring's about here. So during the wintertime, most of these types of trees, the deciduous, tend to go dormant. They lose their leaves in the fall, and it's almost as if their energy kind of just goes into the ground. But when the sun starts getting higher in the horizon, like it does around this time, the trees know, oh, this is the time for springtime. And so what it does is it starts activating its engine or whatever it does inside. And actually, the sap starts going up to the tree. And that sap is actually going to be causing the leaves to come But what we're doing is having small holes here, and what we want to do is get some of that sap. We're not certainly getting all of the sap, but we're getting some of it so that we can use it for the maple syrup. And, we ought to thank our trees. These trees are giving us maple syrup during the springtime, or actually during the late winter, but it's also giving us shade. It's also giving us oxygen, because trees are actually taking the carbon dioxide from the air and turning it into oxygen, which we breathe.
It doesn't hurt the tree if you're taking the sap out of it, do you? Does it?
It doesn't hurt the tree. We use the same holes every year. There is a little bit of a pinch. Trees never told me, but I'm assuming that's the case. But it isn't something that's going to cause a lot of damage to the trees. Certainly if you were to cut something, that would cause a lot of damage. But we're just doing a small little hole, only goes in about that deep. And the idea is just to capture the sap that's starting to rise up into this tree.
Now it goes up and it comes down.
Exactly. It goes up and comes down just like our blood does. As the sap goes up, it's going up there. Once we get the leaves are saying, "Oh, carbon dioxide. Let's turn it through photosynthesis into nutrients, but also oxygen." So the nutrients that they get from the leaves goes down, helps feed the roots. It also helps feed other trees in the area. Believe it or not, trees are interconnected within a certain area. And there's actually some research that shows that they're helping each other. So if there's a sick tree, sometimes the more healthier trees are actually providing more nutrients to that tree. It's sort of like a community. It's sort of like the Edwards Church community.
Isn't it wonderful how the Creator created all this?
I don't know how the Creator did it, but I want to say thank you so much. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be here.
I'd like you to have a taste too. So here you go. Here. Let me know how it is.
Well, it's very sweet.
It's
Not as sweet as I recognize it when you buy it in the store, but I guess that's another form of maple syrup.
Well, they may have boiled it down a little bit to make it a little bit sweeter, because this is a very faint sweetness. And that faintness of the sweetness lets you know how much it has to be boiled down in order to make it really sweet, like maple syrup. Okay. Come out, but that's just for boiling syrup anyway. Okay, so Michael is our fire person here. Got us a nice hot fire going, and we are, did you just add some more sap? So we're boiling off the water, letting the water evaporate, and in the process concentrating the sugar. And it takes 40 gallons, or maybe even 45 gallons of sap from a sugar maple tree to make 1 gallon of maple syrup. So we need a lot of sap, but a lot flows, so it's good. And so it takes time. It takes a long time. This is, we're kind of doing it outside for fun, but it's also possible. I mean, people do it outside. So that's a definite option. It's starting to boil here, and we'll get that boiling down. So this is the finished product, and you can see it's much darker. And what's interesting is when the sap first starts to run, the maple syrup you get is very light and delicate tasting. And as the season progresses and it gets later in the season, it's darker and it has a stronger flavor. They actually, when you buy maple syrup, the clear first run is more expensive. But I really like the darker one because it's got a stronger flavor. So that's what we're doing here. It's all worth it, every little bit of it. So we're going to taste the maple syrup to see the difference in the flavor. Okay? You want to get right down in there? You ready? Okay. Here, you're going to take a little bit. He's going to...
Okay, so this is maple syrup that I had actually boiled for the past 2 days.
Yeah, it takes a while.
It takes a while to boil. I was actually a 5-gallon tub that boiled down to this.
There you go. That's 5 gallons worth of sap.
What I'd like
One
you to
quart.
do is,
One,
can you
pint.
open your mouth and I'll just squirt some in. You might have to come here next year so you can actually try it.
There you go.
But
Yeah.
we have a volunteer who would like to.
I'm the volunteer.
Okay.
It is really sweet.
It is, isn't it?
Wow.
Is there a difference
That is
between
something.
and the sap?
Wow. That's worth the boiling.
It
That's
certainly
right.
is.
It's the effort.
It certainly is.
Okay.
You want to try some more? Okay. This way we don't transfer germs.
Just open your mouth and he drops it in. Is that good? Okay. Okie doke. So we're calling this the Open Spirit Community Sugar Bush. So a sugar bush is usually a lot of maple trees with taps in them. We just have put a couple of taps and a couple of trees, but it's a community one, which means anybody can come and collect the sap. You just have to sign up so that you come on a day when somebody else isn't coming too. And you can do that by going to the website of Open Spirit, which is openspiritcenter.org. And there you can find information about the maple syrup and the community maple sugar bush. And why is this so much fun? You know, this connects us to the earth. It connects us to nature. It connects us to this amazing universe that we're in a very personal and intimate kind of way. We collect that sap. We work it. We get to be outside boiling it down. I'm just so happy to be outside all afternoon on this spring day. It's wonderful. Late winter day. And we get to do all that and just appreciate the amazement and the wonder and of this universe that we are so blessed to be able, in this earth that we're so blessed to be able to live on. So I invite you to come and be a part of this and experience it. You can also boil it down inside your house. You just need to make sure to either have a fan going over your stove, a strong one, or open the windows, because otherwise you'll peel the wallpaper. So you got to be careful, but you can do it, and it is worth it.
How long you been doing this, Rabbi Katie?
So I think this is the third year we've been tapping the trees. It's the second year that we've had an outdoor event and invited people to come and learn about it. No, each year we've done that. This is the third year that we're doing this, and we're really trying to get the community to be involved and to take the sap. That's our goal.
Who's a good-looking guy on your right here?
So this is my partner in crime.
Oh, right here. Yeah, the good-looking guy right here.
This
Yeah.
is Michael Korthel. And he's in charge of the fire because he's a fire guy. So I'm gonna let you give his thoughts on this.
You know, Katie, also, when we talk about community, we're not just talking about the people in the community. We're talking about all the community, including the trees.
That's true.
And one of the things that I find Open Spirit does and the One Earth Collaborative is actually helps teach us where our food comes from. You know, you can go to the supermarket and pick up a little container of maple syrup, but you don't realize that it's our trees that are doing it, and it's a local thing. And particularly for parents, it's so important for kids to be outside and learn where our food comes from, because it isn't from a supermarket. It's actually, people are up in New Hampshire and Vermont and Maine boiling maple syrup right now to eventually put it in those containers. But you can do it right now by yourself. All you need is a little bit of knowledge, get outside, and just a little bit of equipment. So we hope you use this little video as a way to think about, hey, maybe I ought to take the family outside and let's find out what else we can find in nature that we can eat and enjoy and totally appreciate. Thank you so much for coming to our video. And I'm sorry you didn't get to taste it.
And this is part of what we call in One Earth Collaborative foraging as a spiritual practice, because it is such a spiritual thing to really just find wild things growing and take them and have them be that's as local as you can get your food to be. So I hope you'll participate. Thank you.
Tends to water it down. Wish we had some spoons. We could have He's actually
You know my stick? Okay.
dry wood is always the easier one to cut. Must be an expert.
So if we're going to have a fire, we have to have marshmallows, right? So that's the next thing. Which you can use a stick is good too, but we have a person here.
Those are big marshmallows.
Those are big marshmallows. Those are jumbo ones. You want to roast it? Yeah. Okay, here you go. You're gonna have to get a little closer. A little closer.
It's a little hot for me.
It's a little hot. It is very hot. It is a hot fire. How do you like it? Do you like it brown or do you like it black burned?
I like one side to be golden, but the other I like to be white.
Does that look good? Is that okay? You think you can handle it? Give it a try. If you boil the maple syrup down a little bit more, past syrup, but not too far past syrup, and then you pour it on snow, which we happen to have right now, but we don't have the boiled down maple syrup. You get sugar on snow or jackwax, which is really, really bad for your teeth and really, really, really delicious. It's sticky and it's just wonderful. So that's another thing you can do when you do this outside.
Well, we're going to do that then. You explained it. Now we're going to do it.
Well,
Well, now it's my turn to have a good time. And I'm in front of the camera. Somebody told me I should be in the front of the camera too. Because you know why? Because I'm in love with myself. And this here is not a snowball. It's a marshmallow. And ate the marshmallow. And what I'm going to do, I never did this. I never had the opportunity, even when I was a kid, to roast marshmallows over an open fire. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Wait a minute, that's another story. Let's go. Do the marshmallow on the fire. I gotta tell you, on a cold day like this, I love being near the fire. There it is. Now, I don't want to burn my tongue because my tongue is very important. I like to talk. Camera, you know I do. You know I like to talk. Oh! I never really did have my spoon. Marshmallows. Oh, look at it. Did I overcook it?
No, it's
He's never done this before.
I didn't. Oh! Oh!
That's the thing about cooking it. It gets really sticky.
oh my gosh, we don't have any
What?
napkins. No napkins.
It's great. It's really great. I'm a very shy guy. I'm shy.
Not quite ripe for.
Well, Ruby, now that you tasted some of the maple syrup, do you like to have more sometime?
Yeah.
Was it sweet?
Yeah.
And would you come back here first? You like school? That's good. And your mom, she brought you here today so you could try some of the maple syrup, right? Good. I like talking to you. You're a nice young lady. You know that? Yeah. And you're not a shy person either. You know, you're not afraid of the camera. You're not afraid of the camera, are you? No. Okay.
Nice. You know why?
We're at Pioneer Village Corner.
Yes.
here at the Florida Strawberry Festival 2019, Plant City, Florida. And we're going to show you how to make a rope. This young lady right here is going to be the magician that turns this twine into rope.
Okay, so we have a patented 1901 rope winder.
A 1901 rope winder.
So this
Under patent still.
So this means we have no trophies. Every member of our family is an integral working member of our survival team. This is a 6-strand sisal. I'm going to tell you everything I know, and in a few minutes you're going to know everything I know. So here it is. It has what's called a lay. Lay means how it is at rest.
No cheating, no electric.
Okay, if you turn this counterclockwise.
That counterclockwise. You got to listen.
Go ahead.
Here we go. I'm winding. Whoa.
Did you have the same amount of strands on that other?
6 strands, 3 lay rope is what you made. 6 strands. Now you're seeing it come down to 3 strands. Now the interesting thing I'm going to tell you is I started where you are. I came down to this end, but when I got down to the end, I looked over my shoulder and it looks like you're at the end.
I know.
And I'm at the beginning, but just for coming and going, I'm going to say I'm at the end.
Okay.
And then I'm going to take liberty to tell you that the beginning is in the end. Okay? And
Sounds like life.
absolutely, there's no difference in learning the ropes and living your life. So then I'm even going to tell you that a good beginning is half well done. For all those people that say tension is killing us, I'm going to tell you have to get off the couch before you get her done. So when we get to the end here, you have now reached the end of your rope. You notice
I'm at the end of my rope.
is in the beginning. So
That's
I'm
it.
going to just recap that for you.
That a girl.
So the beginning is in the end, and the end is in the beginning. So we say what goes around comes around. That's where that. So you know what my mother would say? You reach the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on.
That is amazing.
It's like anything else. You've always heard the old saying about why buy the cow when you get the milk free?
There you go.
If a man has a good line, he probably could tie the knot as well.
How long you been doing this?
Too long to know better. About 30.
You're one of the most talented people in this whole place that I've met.
You know what's really funny? Somebody came up and they said, if you've been doing this for a while, you can tell me about some of the people who used to be out here. And then they kept asking me, what happened to that young girl? And I said, well, how many years ago was that? And he said, maybe 10 years ago. And the wife said, oh no, you forget time. It was 20 years ago. I said, I don't know what happened to her.
No.
I love it.
That's the truth. That's just the truth.
So much better today, weather-wise.
Yes, thank
Yesterday
goodness.
was terrible.
I'm so loaded down with clothing, though. I have to take time out to go in the shade.
Yep, you can
This
do
is
that.
what they call made in the shade.
Yep.
Why do you have all the clothing on?
Because when I got up, I'm a patio pansy. I've been in the South now for 45 years. So when you say COLD, I don't say that.
What do you say?
Thank God for the heat. Throw the shovel away.
There you go.
If you think that you know everything, you're going to miss everything. Because you've already isolated yourself from knowledge. When I came out here, I was in an organization called SWEAT, Society of Workers in Early Arts and Trades. And there's always a schism. I don't care if it's your church, I don't care what it is. When you gather people together, there's a debate about how things should be. And another person developed wheat. workers in historical early arts and trades. So one day I showed up to demonstrate, and I was a broom maker at the time. And they had 2 broom makers, and the guy said, go over there and make rope. I said, what do I know about making rope? I'm not going to get out there in the big public and do something I don't know how to do. So here's the difference, and I advise this to teachers. Do not stand on the stage and think that you are the only one dispersing information. Allow the student to discern. Because people are going to tell you something that's going to be a puzzle piece to the bigger picture. There's someone in front of you, there's someone in back of you, and there's someone to the side of you. And all of those people have a unique ability to give you a piece of that puzzle. So part of the love is receiving gifts.
I received a gift.
That's right.
It's free too.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's free.
Yeah. Thank you. So that's it. As I did it, all of a sudden, my mother used to say when I was a kid, you kids keep winding, I'm reaching the end of my rope. On an average of 18-hour a day without any kind of guarantee, you're looking, necessity's the mother of invention. You're looking for ways to ease the tension in your life, to get back to rest. If you run all the time and you don't get any rest, you'll run yourself out. But if you're resting all the time, things get sloppy and they get away from you. So I'm going to say I do, and I'm going to play with the next person. Let me take a moment to show you that. I'm going to make a short piece of rope with you. Now, a short piece of rope is the same as a long piece of rope, but do you know the difference?
Yeah.
They're really the same.
Same.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Right. He's not too sure about it. The short piece is shorter and the long piece is longer. Oh, yeah.
You must be the one that found out why, when you see a flock of geese flying over the V pattern, there's one of those lines is always longer than the other. You know why that is? Huh?
I don't know why.
Has more birds in it.
Yeah. So here's what takes place. This is a 6 strand. So you wouldn't really call a man a short piece of rope, because what you're saying to him is he doesn't have much temperament. It doesn't take him very long to come to the end of his rope. If you're letting out goats, that's a good way to start, with a short piece of rope and a short line. Some of you younger people, I've heard them say, I'm going to text her, ask her out on a date with a text. And I said, why is that? Because you think you can edit it. But what you're telling me is you're not comfortable being in process, you just want an end result. So every time you turn it, you're putting tension on the leg. If you say to a man, give him enough rope, what are you doing? What are you calling him? Yeah, slacker. That's how you're there at the end of your rope. That's it. Once you reach the end of your rope, you're not going any further. You're going to have to take and tie a knot and hang on. Now, this is a great. I normally wouldn't give a person a short piece of rope because it's a rude way of having a conversation. So I don't want you to think of this as a short piece of rope. I want you to realize that you may. I'm going to even guarantee this because you made it at the Strawberry Festival. You hang it on the wall, it'll be a great dust collector.
Now, do you know the difference between $1 and $0.25?
Not really, not anymore. They don't, either one go very far. Used to be all it took to get across the border was a quarter. And now, I don't even know. It's like the seasons. I don't even know about the seasons anymore.
Don't you tell kid me, girl.
Thank you for bringing them by. And I love when your eyes get so big, they look like they're going to pop and just go right out on their own.
What you said was amazing.
It's perfect.
It's life cycle.
Actually, the truth about it is there's no difference in this line to learning the ropes. You can save a life, lose a life,
Take a life.
Make a hammock to sleep in, a rug to hold the heat in, sail away. Happy sailing, not away.
Enjoy your day, folks. It's time for a corn dog.
Woo!